It is so nice to be back here. I was here a couple years ago, and I freaked out. And it's wonderful to be back here. I was and have been thinking all morning about feeling and having this feeling that I'm becoming such a goofball, such a space cadet. And the previous woman prompted me to raise my hand.
Yes.
I'm seeing the humor in so many things. Is that the direction all of us are going? Is that the direction you go? I mean, I see humor in what I didn't used to see humor in.
Well, one of the things that we notice is that when you make your reemergence into non-physical and you leave behind all your doubt and fear and worry and all of that resistance, and you reemerge and you have a full sense of who you are, most of you are finding it very humorous. All of the things that you worried about, that it does feel funny to you.
So I'm not losing my mind.
Well, you are that. But the part of your mind that you're losing is inhibition and judgment, both self and outward. When you peel off the layers of the onion a little bit at a time, what you find is that life is supposed to be fun, but it's also supposed to be interesting and fascinating and fast-moving and thrilling. In other words, it's not just humor that you find. The humor may be one of the early steps in realizing that you've been under the wrong influence as you've been approaching life. It really feels a little comical when you discover how simple it is. It's like, have you ever had some contraption that you couldn't figure out because it was new to you and you didn't know where the button was or the lever was, and so you just sort of struggled with it, and then you looked it up on YouTube and they pointed an arrow right at where you're supposed, you touch it and that makes you laugh. It was so simple. You wonder why you didn't do it the easy way sooner. Well, that's the sort of humor that you're describing, and it's certainly what you feel when you reemerge into non-physical. I made a big deal out of things that didn't need to have a big deal made about them. Yes.
Yes, yes. That answered my question that I'm not losing my mind. I don't want to. Yes, yes. Thank you.
Well, you went to that statement more easily than we would encourage. The I'm losing my mind statement. Are you trying to be entertaining? Or do you really feel like you're losing your mind?
Sometimes I really have felt like I'm losing my mind. I'll see things that aren't there. I'll think
that's
things.
Just weird.
I know. I'll really get very, very spacey.
Well, there is a reorienting to this higher energy. But the feeling that I'm losing my mind, we want to use these words. I am reorienting and I'm adjusting into the way my inner being sees things rather than the way much of the world sees things. But the reason that we were wanting to address this with you a little bit is because in the cobweb of that is a little bit too much attention on what others think. If you polled the whole world, if you took surveys on all the subjects that you could think about, we think that you would be fascinated with how differently different cultures and different environment and different people see different things. There's no one stable reality that everyone is believing in. And so this conversation about I think I'm losing my mind, we think it could be stated positively if you say, I'm changing my footing, I'm looking from a broader point of view, I'm seeing the big picture, I'm understanding things from the laws of the universe, I've rediscovered the basis of who I am, I'm in a really steady place, and from that steady place I'm reorienting to everything. There are movies about this all of the time that are not practical, but they always intrigue you, where someone is in a coma or in a time capsule or they've been frozen or whatever, and they come back into what is the future experience for them. And they are trying to adjust into a world that has gone beyond what they had experienced before. And it leaves them all disoriented. It takes them a while to catch up with the way things now are. Well, we're asking that of all of you. We're asking you to tap into a vibrational version. We're asking you to dream a vibrational version. We are actually asking you to face reality way, way less and focus upon upon the reality that you are creating way, way more. And we can see how there would be a disorientation. In the early days when Esther would, in those days she was sitting, not standing. The standing was too disorienting for her, but she was allowing her energy to rise to the point of connecting with us so that we could dominate the thought flow that was coming through her and through her language. And she would cling to her chair because the swooning experience was so substantial. In other words, the adjustment into the higher energies was a very disorienting thing for her. And it often took 5 or 10 minutes before she adjusted into it and felt the comfort of her new vibrational vantage point. And so there's a little bit of that. But by using the words that you use.
Oh, I'm switching. I'll use your words.
It's all right. It doesn't matter what words you use. We just want you to not be saying, I thought I was losing my mind. Instead, say, I know I am evolving in thought. My mind is adjusting to different frequencies. I'm seeing the world from a different vantage point. I'm allowing the whole of who I am to play a more dominant role in the things that I'm attracting. And see it as a positive thing, not a negative thing. And there are a lot of people who have dementia. We're not giving you that label. It's a positive thing, not a negative thing. It is a withdrawing from a world they can't control. It's like a walking away from the discomfort of that sort of disorder. Good?
Excellent.
It is.
Thank you.
It is excellent.
Thank you.